Okay, friends, subscribers, and all you YouTubers out there. Yes, today I'm going to touch on a subject that pisses, not a little and a few men off. It pisses all men off. Pisses every man off when women say, "Stop manspreading." Well, see, this comes from women being uninformed of the male anatomy and nothing more. The women need to understand the male anatomy because that's what it's really about. There are actually two reasons why men actually manspread. Now, see this photo here. These are setups, by the way. You can tell these are setups because of simple fact that, well, they're being set up by a certain group of females that are anti-manspreading, right? See, they cross their legs. Guess what, ladies? For us to cross our legs is fucking painful. And I mean fucking painful. See, this photo here, you got a guy manspreading and everything, like he's been paid big bucks to sit there and take this photo for you, and the other guy's been paid big bucks, and trust me, that smile ain't fucking real. Where it's got the little tick, they ain't real. That guy is sitting there in pain unless he has put his hand down his docks and pulled his junk upwards to protect them. Because, see, in the old days, right, when a man sat down, yet occasionally, and you still actually see it to this day, some blokes just don't give a damn and do it the old-fashioned way and stick their hand down their dacks, pull their junk up, and then sit down. And that way they don't have to manspread. But unfortunately, because of modern clothing that are designed by fucking women that don't realise that men have a shitload of junk in the front of their trunk, right? Because, yeah, men's clothes are actually designed by bloody women. And they need to get a clue. Men's clothing needs to allow for that junk in the trunk so that when men need to reposition, it's a simple matter of grabbing it while they're thinking and just moving it. But no, because of modern clothing and jean design, oh yeah, look at the guy there, that guy there. Just look at him. Okay, yeah, he can sit there and spread his legs. Look how tight they are around the junk area. Now, notice how there's no bulge down low. Why is there no bulge down low? Because prior to this shot, I guarantee you, he has put his hands down his pants, grabbed his either underwear or his junk, and pulled his junk upwards. Now, I'm not trying to be rude, ladies. I'm trying to educate you about the male anatomy and why men manspread, as you so call, and say it's about territory. It's got nothing to do with territory. There are actually two reasons, and that's just one. The second one is this. Right? It's about sitting and about things. And this is scientifically explained by professors and everything. And explaining about seating. And especially with public transport, the height of the seats in public transport. See, the second reason, see, when you sit, you need your legs to be comfortable flat against the chair. Right? Because if you don't have your legs flat against the chair, so a man has two options, right? Okay, putting them upwards and putting them close together. One, you're squeezing it and hurting it because it's painful, right? And I'm going to go into that part in depth in a moment. But at the moment, I'm going to talk about the physical structure. Men's legs are generally longer than females, unless they are a long-legged female. And you ever seen a long-legged female sit? They sit to the side. They've got to twist their legs to the side to be comfortable on public transport. Why is this? Because the seats are too low. So they've got to move them around and put them to the side so they can get comfortable on the seat. Well, a man right? Because he can't squeeze his legs together like you think we can, and every woman thinks that a man can squeeze his legs together. Well, I'm sorry, ladies. Unfortunately, you weren't born with the burden of what we carry. It's the same as you ladies. When you buy a bra too tight, you walk down in public and, oh shit, I've got to adjust it, it's too tight, and you put your hands down your bra. Well, maybe we should ban that as well. Right? Because that's the same thing that's happening to us. Because you have designed our clothing far too tight for men. You think that all men are the same size. They're not. All men are different sizes. Every man has a different size dongle. Right? Call it junk, call it whatever you want. I'm not going to call it, but every man has a different size dongle, right? And that dongle, because of that, it contains 3 components. It contains a very soft component, or most of the time, right? And it contains 2 even pieces, shaped pretty much like an egg. Those eggs are similar to the ovaries. But see, your ovaries are within your body. Ours aren't. Ours sit between our legs. And can you imagine someone squeezing your ovary? Right? Well, have you ever seen a man get kicked in the nuts? No other way to the thing, or if you, like, just type it into YouTube, getting kicked in the nuts. Look at the pain that a man goes through. Do you know that that same pain can be caused by accidentally sitting on one in the wrong way? A man can actually damage himself. He can lose one of them if he damages it. Hence, man naturally sits with legs apart for a reason. Even when man wore no clothing, right? Man just grabbed it, pulled it up, and even then, still most of the time had to sit in that position, just not as bad. Now, there's different types. This one that women have set up on the picture with the big cross, that is a definite thing where it's set up. You can see a photographer across there. Oh, actually, I'd say that's the person that's setting the photo up. But I can actually see just there, the reflection of the photographer and his camera. So it's a setup. So they know what they're doing. They're on the subway. They've deliberately gone on there and everything like that. And then they've set this one up here. Then they've set this one up here so that they can go along, right? Now, the difference between, why are men having differences in the width of the spread? Well, there's actually a reason. As I said, the size of the junk in the trunk. And that's true. I'm sorry to tell you, ladies, but it's true. And I've even talked to my doctor about it, and I said, look, why do women complain about this? She said, oh, well, we get it all the time. And everything like that. It's some women understand about it because they're married or they've got a man, but see, they don't realise the pain that a man goes through. And it truly is nothing more than the size of the junk in the trunk. And there's no other word to explain it. Right? When you see a man doing it, the man is doing it for a reason. Now, as I was talking about the design and shape of the clothing, look at this man has had to do to his clothing to accommodate himself. Now, that's not what you think it is, right? That's so that he's not getting pressure in the clothing, crunching the junk in the trunk. He's done it a different way. He's relieved the pressure. Nothing more than relieving the pressure and using the basic physics to relieve the pressure, right? This is the way what all women think that manspreading is, where they're just deliberately set up something and making it look like the thing, this is a definite setup, because yeah, you can tell, right? They're trying to make a joke and everything like that. You can tell he's actually kneeling on the seat and there's stilts. But see, men sit there and everything like that. Now, I'm not going to point it out. Look at it. It's called junk in the trunk. Right? Tight, wide. Pulled up, not so wide. So in other words, if you accommodate them, you can close your legs up a little bit. But we're not allowed to put our hands down and adjust everything in public. Right? So unfortunately, you get what you call the man spread. It's about the junk in the trunk. Now, I don't even have to bring on. No, I'm going to bring attention to an area. Not being dirty or anything like that. You don't, and I'm not even going to circle the other one because of one reason. Right? Because of the simple fact I don't have to. All you got to do is look at the picture. That is the reason for the man spread. Our organ is on the outside of our body. You squeeze any organ in the human body, it's going to be painful. Go and squeeze your tit super tight. Oh, sorry. Go and squeeze your breast super tight. And keep on squeezing it for an hour. Maybe 2 hours while you're stuck on that bloody Greyhound bus for 2 hours. And then you're stuck on, or you're stuck on a 23-hour flight. You squeeze your breast for 23 hours and see how it bloody feels. It's common sense, ladies. We have to manspread. It's not wanting to manspread. We have to manspread because of our clothing designs and everything like that, because we can't just leisurely put our hand down and adjust the junk in the trunk and remove it out of the way of those two big pressure icons called legs that squeeze. Like if we sat like this, let's find a, if we sat like this lady in the middle, if we can ever get it up, if we sat like this lady in the middle, we would be in pain. And I mean we would be in agony. Because we would have two of those things that you call testicles, which is the scientific name for them, being squeezed constantly on an aeroplane flight, on a bus, for an hour, 2 hours. Well, some bus trips, some subway trips can take an hour, some can take 2 hours. Plane trips can take 23. Right? Men need to manspread. There's no ifs or buts about it, ladies. We have to manspread. I'm sorry, but we have to. We don't have a choice. And I like there was something in this article here where it says in, where was it? There was in a country, they actually banned it in a country. I'll tell you now, if they tried to do that in Australia, mate, I'd be on the streets in a heartbeat. Yeah, recently banned in Madrid. Well, men of Madrid, stand up and point it out to your government and remind your idiot government, or have you got too many females in your government that don't understand that men have an object between their legs? Well, here's an explanation, right? And I want every female out there to go and do this. Right, go and buy a couple of items, right? Squeeze your fist up. Or see how big a man's fist is. Right, because on average a man's fist will tell you approximately the average size of that junk. Now, that junk is not going to hurt as much because you can go and buy a cushion or something like that. But make sure that cushion is a bit hard. Right, because we're going to use it in the reverse mode, because we're going to let that cushion also cause some uncomfort to the legs, which also our junk actually does as well, because we feel it in the leg muscles when it happens to us. Right? So I want you to experience that much of the pain, okay? I want you to go out, or you could actually go out and buy what you call a shooter's rest. It's a little oblong pillow. Go out and buy one of those. That's not as big, but stick it between, or go and buy a ball and stick it between your legs and close your legs. See how painful it is. That's just the leg component. That's not including the organ. Well, the organ. You imagine what would happen if your breast. Or actually, I've got an idea. Why don't you turn around and stick your breast, if you can, under your arm, and put it under your arm and squeeze it for an hour. Squeeze it for an hour and see how it feels. It will be painful. Well, that's what we go through. It's not manspreading, it's called nature and the way God designed a man. You need to understand it. Manspreading is not a crime, it's friggin' natural. It's the way a man has to sit so that his junk in the trunk doesn't get squashed. And I'm serious, ladies, if you've got the accommodation to stick a breast under your arm and squeeze it, do it for an hour. Do it for 2 hours. And you see how it feels. That is one way to explain. I guarantee you those women that tried those 2 experiments will never ever call this manspreading. And I'm sorry, there are certain groups out there that are so triggered that they call this thing. And it doesn't matter what persuasion a male is, and it doesn't matter what community a male comes from, if he still has junk in that trunk, he needs to manspread to stop the pain. And it truly is, and if you don't believe me, ladies, it truly is about the size. It truly is about the size. Nothing more. Look, see, even presidents do it. Right? That's the natural way a man sits. Right? Low chairs. Now, here's the low chair thing again. Right? Notice how one has twisted his spread and twisted him inwards. This one has spread and twisted him outwards to accommodate the thing. That is the natural way a man sits. The man sits like that for a reason. Crossed, not spread. Yeah, they're crossed because you've got nothing between your legs. That's the biggest joke I had to laugh at. Yes, you can do that. Yes, men do it, but men will actually, sometimes if they're in certain clothing, will actually prepare themselves if they know they're going to sit down, and they'll go into a bathroom for 10, sometimes it might take 10 minutes to find the right position, because you've got to stand up, adjust it, sit down, stand up, adjust it, sit down, and you've got to be wearing a certain type of underwear so that it works. And that's the thing, if you don't do that, then you have the simple problem of crushed nuts. And there's no other words for it. Manspreading is caused by the way God made us, right? Because you think about it, ladies, you think about it. There is something between there. And in some you can see it. And you can see the size, you can actually see the size comparison in some images. It's no other reason. Actors make a big thing out of it and they joke about it. But it's about the way you have designed our effing clothing. See, you can do, I'd love to be able to do that for 20, 30 minutes at any time. And most women should know that if you do that for too long, you get bloody varicose veins. But look at the images, lady. There's an explanation. You don't even have to. See, this is actually, these clothes are designed by a man, hence the manspread is not that wide, but you can see the reason of the spread. Clearly see the reason of the spread. If you don't want to see what's between, design our clothing so you can't see. Right? It's nothing more about the size of the object. Bigger the object, the bigger the spread. And yes, this image is a setup image. Public park. The guy's most, it's pretty much, I can see by the seat, the design of the seat and the angle of the legs, that is done because of the lowness of the seat. That's done both because of the lowness of the seat and because of what is between the legs. And it's got nothing more than that. This is the whole reason, ladies. Right? Because we don't want to be in pain. Okay, now here's a good example of a lady with longer legs. Notice how I said she must turn them to the side. Right? She's got them to the side. Short legs, straight together, straight down. Short legs, straight together, straight down. Long legs to the side on an angle, and her butt is sitting firmly flat. Okay? For a man, notice how those legs are angled underneath the chair. Longer than the female leg. They're angled underneath the chair. Plus, you've got to accommodate for the junk in the trunk. This guy, notice the look on his face while this photo is being taken. He's unprepared. He's tried to pull his trousers up to accommodate the stretch. And lo and behold, the only way to do it, he can't smile properly for one reason, because he's in pain. Sitting like that for a man is painful. Nothing more, nothing less. It's painful. This ridiculous thing that something like this on a train is a bloke manspreading. One, he's got the decency to put his bag down for you girls, but it's all about the size of the junk in the trunk and nothing more. Bigger the junk, the bigger the spread. That's all there is to it, ladies. Nothing more, nothing less. Stop designing our jeans so fucking tight so that you can pervert us. You've only got to look at the image. There's a reason why, ladies. There's a reason why men sit like this. It has no other reason. Right? You don't have that. Men do. Right? Every single man. Right? Women, yeah, cross their legs. Yeah, they got nothing, not a problem. Oh God, I'm doing it now, and it's all right. You notice how my voice just changed? Because I just squeezed my legs together like that lady. It was painful. And that was honestly my voice changing because of pain. Now look at Obama's face. Here, got his legs crossed. But look at his face. That is pain in his face. Because when men cross their legs, that's why men don't cross their legs for great periods of time. You can actually see it in his face. Pain. That's the president or ex-president of the bloody United States. And thank God he's gone. It's pretty much, doesn't matter, okay, a man can be sitting under a table. He still has to manspread. This is natural, ladies. See, this, we consider this rude. You don't need to manspread. We need to manspread. This is women being ridiculous and thinking that we're doing it deliberately. Well, guess what? We're fucking not. We are not doing this deliberately. That is rude, right? You're doing that, but do we complain about it? No. We don't complain about a woman manspreading. We don't complain about a woman doing that and putting a leg up against the next guy near us. We never complain about it. We don't complain about that if a woman does that beside us. Right, but see, this is just women being smart alecks. But do we complain about it when women do this? No. We do not. Man's marbles. Okay, there's a good thing. That word marbles. Think of them that way. But think of them as your ovaries stuck between your legs. I am just so sick of this subject. Manspreading, manspreading, manspreading. Oh no, it's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong. Right? It's got nothing to do with more than the junk in the trunk. Nothing more. Women are just taking this beyond a joke and need to realise the physical characteristics of a male. I could go into YouTube and call up the female sexual organs and show you, but I'm going to let you do that. Go and type it into YouTube or Google and have a look for yourself. Look at what's there. If you don't know what's there, maybe you should. If you're married, ask your husband how painful it is to jam his legs together. Right? And as I said, ladies, if you have the ability to put one breast under an arm, then squeeze it for 20 minutes. Squeeze it for 30 minutes. Squeeze it for 40 minutes and see how it feels. This is not manspreading. It's called nature. It's the way God designed man. God designed us, so don't blame us. Blame God. Go and blame God. I bet you don't. But you'll keep on blaming man. But then you've got to think about it, ladies. Stop designing men's clothing so tight that we can't adjust ourselves, or let men put their hand down and adjust it so that we can put our... See, because like if we put our hand down there, pull it up, right? And put our legs together there. That's still uncomfortable, but we can actually close our legs a bit. It's pretty much a joke that this is going on. I couldn't believe it when this video came up on YouTube. It's sort of like, I just let autoplay go on and I just doing my housework and then it come up. But as I said, they're presidents of countries. Manspread. It's not manspread. We sit like that for a reason, because of what God put between our legs. No other reasons, ladies. No other reasons. Oh, actually, this one's a good example. This one is a good example. That's two ladies crossing their legs. This is a man crossing his legs. Do you notice where the knee is? The knee is way higher. Why? Because that's actually a man manspreading with his legs crossed. He's actually manspreading, but he's got his legs crossed. Notice how the foot is almost on the kneecap. Think about it, ladies. Think about that one. And then try the tennis ball thing. Jack it between your legs. Go and sit down in your lounge room and jack a tennis ball between your legs and squeeze your legs for a good 20 minutes. You'll be in so much pain that it's beyond a joke. And yes, that junk can cause the same pain as the tennis ball does. But that's only part of the pain. See, because when you squeeze that junk, the things that we call testicles, right, is equivalent to your ovaries. And when they are squeezed, it actually hurts our kidneys. That's why when a man gets kicked in the crackers, that they go down and they fall. It's why men are vulnerable, because they cause so much pain. That's why men manspread. Think about it, ladies. That's all. This video was not made in bias to any male group, female group, or any group whatsoever. This is about explaining why men manspread, as it's so-called called, where it's not actually manspreading, it's for a reason. Right? And all you've got to do is look at pictures. Look at the vicinity of the pictures. Okay, this one I am going to draw attention to it for a reason. Alright? Look at the area down there. Look at the bulges. It's all about the size. The bigger the size. Yeah, the middle one between the two, yeah, it might not get as in much pain, but those two little egg-shaped objects down there called testicles, when squeezed or compressed or sat on even, yes, even if we sit on them, That's why sometimes you'll see a man sit and he's got to get up and he's got to put his hand on his crutch and adjust himself because he's just sat on a testicle. It's fucking painful. As I said, go and squeeze your breast or stick it under your arm for a good hour and see how it feels. Anyhow, I'm out of here. I'll catch you all later. Thanks, guys, for watching. Bye.